Many of us don't realize that your team member is your first customer. You must always have good customer service internally.
Master Coach Apostle Courtney McLean and Business Coach Zidane Simister are powered up to share their expertise on the business end.
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. We are here on another episode of the Business End Show. And we here on the Business End, we provide real and practical solutions to advance businesses by speaking with experts in the field and existing entrepreneurs. We provide that blueprint. We solve those issues in order to help you to manifest your goal and to move to the next level. I am your host, Zidane Simister, business coach, and today we will be speaking about leadership in business and empowerment. How do you empower staff? What does it mean to empower your employees? Certainly, in simple terms, to empower your employees means to give your team members permission to make decisions, empower them to make the right decisions so that you have a culture of trust and understanding to ensure that they're making the right decisions in line with the company's goals and vision. Now, empowering an employee also helps you to have your business sustainability in your business. Because if you're not there, then persons are there to have that culture to push your business forward and ensure that there's longevity and success, even if you're not there, because you have the right mindset and culture. Now, in terms of human management and human resource management, there are two sets of job design techniques that will allow you to empower your employees. One is job enrichment. The other is job enlargement. Now, the difference between job enlargement and job enrichment is simply this. When you enlarge somebody's job, you basically add more tasks to that person's job description. Now, what that does is that will enable the person to be more busy and not necessarily more empowered. So you want to enrich that job description by adding depth to the person's job descriptions. When you add depth to the person's job description, what you're basically doing is empower them to make decisions. So if you want to empower somebody and you want to design or create new roles or enlarge new roles, that will only get them to a point. But what you want to do is to have job enrichment so that they're able to feel empowered, they're able to be aligned with their vision. What are some of the benefits for you to have in terms of empowering your employees? Certainly, you would have increased engagement and productivity. More engaged as staff is or team member is, they're able to be more productive. They're there. They're consciously there, working towards building the company's goals and aspirations. Now, you would also have better customer service. Now, get this. Many of us don't realize that your team member is your first customer. You must always have good customer service internally. No, accounts department may be working with sales department. No, for accounts department, your sales department is your first customer. So what does that mean? That you must have good customer relation within the organization with foster good culture, good business relation, and that will transcend into your external customers, which is the clientele and the external customers you want to serve. You would also want to have employee satisfaction and retention when you have proper empowering employees. Now, the other benefit is that you would have better and healthier employees. They will be less stressed. They'll be less burnt out because there's everybody that is engaged, sharing the burden. And what you have happening is that empowered employee will not feel so stressed and overworked. And then you have the burnt out effect and the diminishing return of marginal utility. Now, how do you empower your employees? You have to build a culture. So what you want to do is to increase a culture of trust, clear communication, and strategic delegation. What does that mean? Let's start with delegation first. When you're going to delegate tasks, do not delegate the unwanted tasks that you yourself as leaders don't want to do. You want to delegate tasks and roles that are empowering. So you don't want to pass off as leaders and business leaders tasks that would free you up so you can focus on the harder work in that. You want to delegate tasks that ensure that the persons feel a part of the decision making. They feel empowered. They feel like they are learning. They feel like they are getting more educated and they're getting more of the business out forward. So you delegate to develop. You must also set clear expectations. Now, when you are giving an employee an opportunity to make decisions, you have to ensure that you're giving them a clear expectation of what those roles are, what decisions can they make, and what is the outcome that you're looking for. If you have not given somebody clear expectations about that decision making, then that employee is going to make decisions without understanding the outcome and understanding what it means for them to make such a decision. But you must do so in a bit that not to micromanage, but rather to empower them so that they are able to make the right decisions and in line with the company goals. You want to give them autonomy so that they are able to make decisions, and those decisions are able to be what we call giving some level of control. So you don't want to micromanage your employees to the point where they're making decisions but they're coming back to you to say, have I made the right decisions? They must be empowered, have the autonomy to make those decisions so that they're able to complete set projects. To empower your staff is to make sure that they are making the necessary resources, they have the necessary resources, and that they are able to create the right environment for them to make that decision. Now, I'm aware that you may have a smaller and improving company, and you may not have all the resources that are required to ensure that the company or the persons are able to make the most efficient decision and carry out the most efficient roles in the particular job. So you want to have persons that have critical thinking, so they are able to be flexible enough to make the right decisions with what they have, make do with what they have. But in an environment like that, you'd want to have persons to create the right conditions for them to be critical thinkers. You want to empower them to be critical thinkers, so they are able to be flexible and make the right decisions when they are able to do so. And of course, if you're not able to give them the proper tools, you may want to give them an opportunity to come up with suggestions and solutions. Brainstorm. Allow them to come up with those decisions in order to make the job more effective. To give them what is called feedback, constructive feedback. Now, sometimes when we're doing job evaluation, sometimes in a job evaluation you hear persons saying, good job, yes, or I am not pleased with that particular task that you have done. Those criticisms are not effective. You may want to be pinpoint and be detailed enough to say, when you're saying a good job, what exactly is good about that job? What exactly did they do well? Because you want them to repeat that thing that they have done well in specific situations. You want them to be able to know that in particular context, they are able to repeat that particular task and do that particular thing so that they are able to get specific actions out of that area. Also, when you say the person is making a mistake and do not live up to what your expectations were, it is always good to do what is called mentoring through that mistake. So the idea is that now you're not criticizing the mistake, but what you're doing is giving that person an opportunity to develop and grow throughout that particular mistake. So what that entails, ladies and gentlemen, is where you, for argument's sake, the person makes a wrong decision. You ask them, why did you make that particular decision? Why did you make that particular option in order to reach that particular goal? What happens is that you are given an opportunity now to mentor that person through that particular option that they would have chosen. Then you say to them, okay, here's an alternative option to achieving the same goal, and you guys work it through through feedback and communication to ensure that they're making the right decisions. Because in essence, it's not important to be right, but important to get the job done. So you mentor persons through the particular mistakes or particular option that they would have taken. Now, remember, there are different ways. Let me give you an example. There are different ways for you to get to Alfred Tree. Let's say you were coming from Crossroads. You can go through Alfred Tree Road, then you can get yourself onto Maxfield Avenue and enter to Alfred Tree. Couldn't you not? You could also go from Crossroad up to Oxford Road, couldn't you not? And onto Trafalgar Road, couldn't you not? And get to Alfred Tree from Oak Road, couldn't you not? So the idea is that the expectations and the use of resources are what you're trying to accomplish is what determine which route you take to get to Alfred Tree. In essence, in business, you'd want persons to know that in making certain decisions that you have empowered them to make, what the expectations are and what the efficient use of resources are and what the outcomes are that you expected. And what they're going to do is to ensure that they make the right decisions in order to make sure that the company goals are being achieved. So you mentor them through their mistakes and empower them. Now, another tip that you want to embark on when you're trying to empower your employees is to ensure that you give an environment in which ideas can foster. So you create an idea bank. You create a system in which persons can give ideas and input where necessary into goal setting and decision making. You don't want to be able to be the only person that comes up with ideas because no man is an island. So you want to ensure that there's a teamwork in coming up with ideas. So as leaders and owners of company, you set the pace, you set the environment that fosters that giving of ideas and giving of solutions. And then what will happen is that your employees and team members will feel a part of the vision. And as they feel a part of the vision, what will happen is that they are now able to foster or feel like they are part of that culture of problem solving. So they are making a decision, but they are also problem solving. And what you would find is that new ideas come. And once those new ideas come, can be analyzed. And some things that you may not be considering, somebody may come up with an idea. So that is what you want. You want to foster an environment that you have new ideas, new inputs. Persons feel a part of it, and they're able to share into the vision and foster new ideas. Now, you also want to ensure that persons see their role in the vision and the mission of the company. So here's the tip. Write out your mission and vision statement. Place them all across your organization. And what you have is that when you have your department meetings, you may want to have, as a part of their initial points or every department meeting, you have a team building session that is geared towards ensuring that persons see where they fit into the mission statement and into the vision statement. Play a game. Play an empowerment game. Ensure that your team members see where they fit. Or come up with new solutions. How does a sales department fit into the vision of the overall company? What you want to have happening is that there will be new ideas, new ways to foster their involvement, new ways to create that culture in which they feel a part of the vision. In fact, you may see the vision expanding through these sessions. And that is what you want to have in your alignment with your vision and your vision statement. Set different objectives. In fact, have departments rewrite the overall company vision statements so that the departments see themselves inside those mission and vision statements. And then you would have a culture that unfolds into what we call an empowerment. And the organization will see an overall success because everybody feels a part of it. And you will have what is called your redistribution of your success spreading through the different departments. Another thing that you want to say is that you must recognize employees for their hard work. Now, this is not to say you must have a reward system for persons who are doing well, but you want to encourage persons to ensure that they are seeing their good fruits for their labor, and you want to encourage that. And we have a call on the line. All right, so Alicia is asking, if you don't feel empowered as a team member, can you go to your superior, your CEO, and ask for empowerment sessions or solutions to feeling empowered? Because some leaders feel like if they're paying you, then the pay or your wages should be empowerment enough for you to do the job. Now, what I would want to start off by saying is those leaders who believe that a person's salary is all the empowerment that they need to re-augment that thinking, because what would happen is that you would have team members given the bare minimum in order to satisfy achieving that salary. So what you want to have happening is that persons overachieve, reach for their particular goal. And when everybody is overachieving, then the company overachieves. And then you push the company forward into another dimension. Now, what do you do in that scenario, Alicia? I would say to you, Lady Alicia, what you want to do is you have to read the room. You have to be emotionally intelligent. Now, some leaders, when you go to them with the idea that you are demanding something, they may see it as a negative. So what you want to do is empower yourself to empower them. So you present scenarios in or an objective way of stating something so that they feel like they came up with the solution. In other words, you are presenting different options to your leader and say, what do you think? So you give them all the pros and cons of different options. So you say, I feel an empowerment session is good for all staff because A, B, C, D. And you say, but the risk of not doing that is A, B, C. And you give other options. And what that's happening is that that particular leader will feel like once he has evaluated the situation, he would then come to the decision, the right decision, because he feels like the option put in front of him, he's able to evaluate it and give the right decisions to make. Now, also recognize after you're being emotionally intelligent about making a suggestion, you must be open for his feedback, meaning that if he does not go with your options, that you must be able to be open for the alternative, because he may be looking at the overall situation from a company standpoint and you're looking at it from an individualistic point of view, which you may not see the overall picture. So what you want to do is to ask him, if he has not come up with that option that you would have selected or wanted, you'd want to ask him, why have you come up with that particular solution? And then that discussion would ensue, and you will see things from his perspective. And you know what's going to happen, Alicia? You have been empowered now because you're able to see from the CEO's perspective, and you're now getting that hands-on training from a CEO perspective, because you have now walked into the mindset of a CEO. And he's also seeing your mindset because you have seen now you are solution oriented and you're giving him solutions to fix a problem. And both parties will leave that discussion and communication better for it. So yes, so go and have that conversation, Lady Alicia, with your CEO. Present those alternatives to him, and I'm sure you will definitely feel empowered from it. Thank you for your call. We were speaking about the different tips and tools for us to empower our team members and employees. And we spoke about rewarding an employee who has been working hard. What I also want to say here is that it's not necessarily related to the particular job descriptions. You know, you have staff members that persons come to the business place because they have to deal with that particular staff member. Because a staff member have what is called personal attributes that lower or have persons come into that organization because they like their personality, their attributes. They're always a yes person. They're open and warm. What I want to encourage CEOs to do is you reward persons not just for the specific job description that they're doing, but also one that fosters good culture and positive culture within your organization. In fact, what I also would encourage business owners to do is if you have those persons that always get those recommendations, you may want to have those persons being a part of your team building sessions, and you have those persons present to the wider staff to say, these are the things that I have done to encourage, to make the clients feel good about themselves, so that they're able to foster that culture throughout, from that person, particular person, to the entire organization. So what you have happening is that is called personal goodwill. No, the personal goodwill is not necessarily supposed to be staying in one person. What you can have is that personal goodwill transcends throughout the culture of the organization by having these team building sessions. I know many companies have what is called wow moments, or well done moments, where we recognize our peers and we say, okay, I'm acknowledging this particular person because they have done wonderfully well with a client, and a client is singing them praises. But what you want to do is to tap into that, augment that culture of sending well done emails and stars, in order to foster that culture throughout the organization by tapping into what that person has been doing throughout the entire culture, by speaking with them, having them being a part of a team building session, so that they're able to help the other staff to come up the learning curve and understanding what they need to be done. Now, the other tips that I want to state here is that you must understand their personal value. You may want to ensure that not just the company goals are being achieved, but you want to ensure that the persons are able to achieve their goals as well. So if somebody wants to buy a house, they want to go back to school, they want to make certain investment, they want to pay for their children's education, as a company, you must have those team building sessions to ensure that they're able to achieve those goals while the company are achieving their goals as well. So what does that mean is that you will be in the person's personal space and see what the person values and encourage them, giving them solution to ensure that they are meeting their particular goal. You also want to be flexible. No, employees are human. Things happen, life happens. So you will want to ensure that you understand that life happens. You're flexible to work with them. If they need time off to deal with a personal issue, you may want to ensure that you have those personal time off. You may want to give them that ability to a flexible working arrangement, so that they're able to meet their needs, their personal needs, and of course, achieve what they want to achieve. And now, I want to also tell leaders and CEOs, lead by example. You can't say, do this, do that, and you're not living the life. You can't tell them to do something and you're not walking the walk. I want to encourage leaders, be an example. Be an example. What you don't want them to do, don't do it. Not because you are able to. You don't want them to do it. You want to lead by example. So if you have a culture of customer service, you have to be the one that smiles. You have to be the one that is there. If you want them to stay late, roll up your sleeves 2 evenings and stay with them. I always say there is the 3 layers of leadership. One way you lead from behind, that's when you empower persons. One way you lead from beside, that's when you roll up your sleeve, and it is teamwork. We are going to be working together. We're going to stay here until this project is finished. We're going to stay here until the excellence is come through. And there's one way you lead from in front. You lead by example. And this is what we're calling you to do. If you want to empower somebody, lead by example. Do as you say. Show them that it is possible. And if it is possible, they will buy into that vision and goal. Now, this has been another episode of The Business End, and I hope you would have been able to find some strategies to empower your staff so that your team members are able to move to the next level, get the company to the next level, buy into that vision, see themselves into those visions, and work harder, work smarter, work towards bringing the company and their personal lives into alignment for the future. We want to tell you that we are on social medias at The Business End. That's on YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok and Instagram. Go over, share, like, comment, and we will definitely be able to answer all issues that you have there. You are the Business End Show tribe. That is, you are the best. Continue to be your increasing best. Thank you.
Master Coach Apostle Courtney McLean and Business Coach Zidane Simister are powered up to share their expertise on the business end. But don't forget to tell a friend or a colleague. And of course, have your tools on hand, your notebook and your pen. Classes are in session every Tuesday, 3:30 on Gospel JA for the business end. Master Coach Apostle Courtney McLean and Business Coach Zidane Simister await you.